Well, you're trying to push forward a $13 billion wall. That's socialism at its finest. Farm subsidies.
What? A wall is socialism? Do you know what socialism is?
No, I believe in national security. I believe in defending our borders. I do believe in a military.
What about the farm subsidies that Trump, the self-induced tariffs that,
Wait, no,
that are now requiring bailouts?
Can we just slow down? Hold on, just slow down. Please explain to me how a wall is socialism, because that's the craziest definition of socialism I've ever heard.
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. My name is Ellery, and today I'm back to the video and check out with you guys. This is called Kirk Smashes Radical Socialist Lecturer. You know how it goes, guys. We talk less and we react more. Let's check this out.
So my question to you is, we hear a big game from Turning Point USA and the right on how you want to reduce the size of government, when in fact, government under conservative leadership here the past, 8-10 years has not been reduced, and you still talk about increasing it. The wall, farm subsidies, I could go on. So my question to you is, what do you plan on doing to reduce the size of government? How do you plan on pressuring your elected officials to reduce the size of government when in fact they're not doing it? They're only increasing it.
Well, look, I mean, the Trump budget itself reduces government. It closes federal agencies and merges all of them. You know that there's been more federal workers that have left the federal bureaucracy than have been hired under the Trump presidency. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
So before you start
I'd like
to say,
see some numbers, though.
Okay, I just gave you a fact. So
we don't really have a chart or access.
Baseless.
Okay. Okay. You're entitled to your own opinion. You're not entitled to your own facts, but that's okay. So under President Trump, every single budget he's submitted to Congress reduces the size of government. Under President Trump, for 16 months, do you know that he signed a federal hiring freeze? Did you know that? He signed a federal hiring freeze, which by definition shrinks government because over thousands of people every single week retire out of the federal bureaucracy. So under President Trump, the federal bureaucracy has gotten significantly smaller.
Well, you're trying to push forward a $13 billion wall. That's socialism at its finest. Farm subsidies.
What? A wall is socialism? Do you know what socialism is?
No, I believe in national security. I believe in defending our borders. I do believe in a military.
What about the farm subsidies that Trump, the self-induced tariffs that,
Wait, no,
that are now requiring bailouts?
Can we just slow down? Hold on, just slow down. Please explain to me how a wall is socialism, because that's the craziest definition of socialism I've ever heard.
It's taxpayer funds going towards the good of society.
Is socialism?
Absolutely. Police and fire protection, public schools,
so all government
public
is socialism?
lands, it's all types of socialism.
So you believe all government is socialism?
No, those are municipalities.
Any taxpayer subsidy that's put towards the common good of society in whatever context you think common good of society is a type of socialism. And everybody here uses those types of programs. You got public lands, public roads. I'm sure everybody in here likes to go shoot their guns on public lands. Well,
first of all,
government takes care of that.
A couple interesting facts, though, because a lot of public lands are actually paid for by hunting licenses. Therefore, the people that purchase the hunting licenses are the ones that are paying in. Secondly,
there's nothing that's literally free.
The #1 funder in the federal government that actually funds our transportation system is the federal gas tax. That's actually factored into your purchase of gasoline. So a lot of ways we have user taxes for the things that you're describing as socialism. So the more you drive, the more you pay into it. The more you hunt, the more you pay into it. Now, to your interesting convoluted point that every layer of government is socialism goes directly against the author of socialism's treatise. Socialism is the public ownership of such industries. So
exactly, and you know what?
Okay.
Those include worker co-ops, which I'm sure everybody here shops at the community co-op, right?
No.
No. Well, if you do, or let me say this: Town and Country. Who shops at Town and Country here? That is a worker co-op, and it's a type of socialism.
But it's all voluntarily.
The hypocrisy here is
it's
pretty
really
overwhelming.
So let me tell you, you know what's amazing about a capitalist system is you can voluntarily be in a co-op. So no one's forcing Town and Country to be in a co-op. So only in capitalism could you voluntarily put yourself in that sort of system. But if you don't want to be in a co-op, you should have the freedom to do that as well.
What about the folks that are involved in capitalism that can't buy a home or that are being ripped off by the pharmaceutical companies and the healthcare industry? That's capitalism, all right, and people are losing. You got something to say to that?
At this point.
Yeah, I know, actually a lot.
People are losing.
Okay, but
do you think you're losing?
No, not necessarily.
Well, so then who are you to speak for other people? If you're not losing and you're benefiting,
I'm not benefiting from the ACA whatsoever.
Well, the ACA,
it's killing me.
The
Obamacare, the same thing.
That's socialism, bro.
No, it's not.
Oh.
Actually, the ACA is a healthcare exchange where you can go on and buy insurance in the free market.
A government-created
It's a
website.
It's a website.
Created
it's a government
by what?
website
Who
where you can go buy different types of health insurance on the free market from private healthcare companies.
How many taxes were in Obamacare? 28 new taxes. You still can't buy health insurance across state lines. Hundreds and hundreds of pages of new regulation were part of Obamacare. It was 1,800 pages, and Nancy Pelosi said we have to pass it to find out what was in it.
Who's making the profits on healthcare right now? Is it the government or is it private industry?
Well,
private industry.
Yeah,
right?
sure, correct, but not if you're a veteran. You go to the
That's
Veterans
not government
Administration.
regulated.
Well, if you go to the vet, we have forms of socialized healthcare, and then the worst parts of our society and our culture.
Medicare, and it works.
Well, how about Medicaid? Medicaid doesn't work, and Medicare is deeply underfunded. Medicare has $60 billion of documented waste every single year, and Medicaid is healthcare for the poor. There's 62 million people on Medicaid in America right now, and the approval of people on Medicaid is sub 15%. Obamacare expanded Medicaid. It is a form of socialism. It doesn't work. This idea of Medicare for all is really Medicaid for all. It is not better health care for everyone. It's destroy our good health care system and give more free stuff to people for more votes, and then destroy the medical advancements that are inherent in our current system right now. Is our healthcare system broken? Absolutely. It's broken because government picks and chooses winners right now. And the ACA was nothing more than a pseudo-socialist bill that the insurance companies, the hospitals, and the drug companies lobbied for through the guise of trying to benefit people. But it was pseudo-socialism because it was government-created exchanges. 18,000 new IRS agents were hired under Obamacare, hundreds of pages of new regulation, 28 new taxes, including taxes under medical excise tax, the individual mandate tax, which literally forced people to buy health care if they didn't want it in our own generation.
This whole issue of socialism. I mean, socialism is never the answer. Because, okay, look at the first paragraph, or rather, the first point he said, that people have free hunting ground, people have free routes to, like that whole idea of free. And Charlie just gave 2 examples. Nothing is ever really free. That's just what I like to say, because those hunting grounds, as Charlie pointed out, those who buy the license to actually use those grounds have actually paid for it. Tax is put on your gasoline. Tax is put on your transport fare. Like, tax is put on virtually everything. You feel it's free, but you're actually paying for it. And capitalism actually works. It's not nice for everything to be the country to be entirely capitalist or entirely socialist. These two work hand in hand. But capitalism helps to actually improve a country's system, because when you leave everything based on the government, there are going to be limited ideas. There's going to be a lot of corruption. There's going to be a lot of mismanagement and embezzlement of funds. See, nobody ever really trusts the government, because all over the world, the truth is most governments never deliver. So I really wonder how people push for this particular context of socialism. Because even now, when capitalism is still being exercised to some certain extent, the government still have their say, they still have their way in almost every policy that you can ever think of. So how would socialism correct things? How would socialism help the growth of a country? How does it ever help? Capitalism is essential, whether anybody likes it or not, because the common man has to make his own profit. Because at the end, nothing free is being handed to you. Of course, just as they pointed out, Medicare and Medicaid, the difference in the 2 of them, the waste on one of them and all that. In countries, you have public hospitals, you have private hospitals, you have public schools, you have private schools. Now, some of those public schools, of course, they are quite cheap, but then you might not get what you're looking for. That standard education isn't there. Why? Because it's government-owned property. Now, imagine when the private schools are totally eradicated. Everyone is receiving far less of what they paid for. And of course, you don't mind. Why? Because it's cheap, it's subsidized. public health care, you receive less attention than you are meant to have as a person that is under the weather. You receive less attention. I mean, there's a case of a pregnant woman who died in a public hospital in the country because she couldn't, there were not enough staff to go around. There are cases of this kind of thing, and people still push for this kind. It's funny, really. It's quite baffling. But guys, leave your comments in the comment section and leave a thumbs up at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.